Assalamu alaikum, grade 4 students. How are you all? Good. Okay, students. Think about the things you move every day. Yes, maybe, yeah. Chairs, okay. Your bag, good. Shoes, good. So think about how you open or close a door. Good. In how many ways can you move a chair? So, do you know why you do to move each of them? Okay, I will tell you all this in your story, and today's story is about force and motion. So, do you want to listen this story? So where is this story? Yes, in your butterfly grade 4 book. So students, listen this story carefully. Force is a push or pull applied on an object. We usually use our muscles to push or pull. हम आम तौर पर किसी भी चीज़ को पुश या पुल करने के लिए अपने मसल्स को इस्तेमाल करते हैं. We usually use our muscles to push or pull. We can move or stop any moving object by force. We use force to walk, to lift any object, to throw anything, to move any object from its place. In short, force is there in every activity we do. So मुख्तसरन ये कि ताकत जो है वो हर एक्टिविटी के लिए हमें ज़रूरत पड़ती है. In short, force is there in every activity we do. Force can change the shape or size of any object. Force can change the direction. You must have seen magnets. आपने मैग्नेट्स तो देखे होंगे. You must have seen magnets. What power does a magnet have that makes it so interesting for children? तो उस मकनातीस में ऐसी क्या ताकत होती है जो मकनातीस को बच्चों के लिए बहुत ही ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग बना देती है? What power does a magnet have that makes it so interesting for children? A magnet pulls a piece of iron towards it. All magnets have a north and south pole. तमाम जो मैग्नेट होते हैं, तमाम जो मकनातीस होते हैं, उसमें एक नॉर्थ पोल होता है और एक साउथ पोल होता है. All magnets have a north and south pole. Magnetic poles are the strongest parts of a magnet. North and south poles of magnets attract each other. The two south poles and the two north poles repel each other. A magnetic field is an area around a magnet that attracts and repel objects. मैग्नेटिक फील्ड वो एरिया होता है मैग्नेट मकनातीस के अराउंड जो चीज़ों को अपनी तरफ क्या करता है, अट्रैक्ट करता है. मैग्नेटिक फील्ड इज एन एरिया अराउंड अ मैग्नेट दैट अट्रैक्ट्स एंड रेपेल ऑब्जेक्ट्स. If you place an object inside the magnet's field, it will attract to the magnet. We cannot see the magnetic field. The simplest way to find a magnetic field is to sprinkle iron filings around a magnet. So अगर आपने देखना है ना मैग्नेटिक फील्ड कहाँ है तो कुछ स्प्रिंकल आयरन जो है वो आप देखेंगे कि वो उसकी तरफ मैग्नेट की तरफ उसके अराउंड किस तरह से अट्रैक्ट हो रहे होते हैं. मैग्नेट्स आर प्रेजेंट इन मोस्ट इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डिवाइसेस. मकनातीस जो है वो ज़्यादातर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डिवाइसेस के अंदर मौजूद होता है. मैग्नेट्स आर प्रेजेंट इन मोस्ट इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डिवाइसेस. This magnetic force is what makes a motor go round and round at such a high speed. It is also used to make trains travel at high speed. Okay, gravity. Earth is one big magnet that pulls everything towards it. ज़मीन जो है वो एक बहुत बड़ा मकनातीस है, मैग्नेट है जो हर चीज़ को अपनी तरफ खींचता है. अर्थ इज़ वन big magnet that pulls everything towards it. The force of the earth to pull everything is called gravity. Like every other force, the force of gravity has a direction. The force of gravity pulls everything only in one direction. That's towards the center of the earth. Gravity is a very powerful force. Gravity एक बहुत ज़्यादा ताकत होती है इसके अंदर, बहुत ज़्यादा ग्रेविटी में. ग्रेविटी जो है इज़ अ वेरी पावरफुल फोर्स, एक बहुत ही मजबूत ताकत है. इट इफेक्ट्स एवरी लिविंग एंड नॉन लिविंग थिंग फाउंड ऑन दिस प्लैनेट. विदाउट ग्रेविटी द एटमॉस्फेयर ऑफ द प्लैनेट वुड नॉट एग्जिस्ट. It means that there will be no oxygen to breathe, no clouds to rain, and no blue sky in the morning. Without oxygen, the mountains will fly away. अगर ऑक्सीजन नहीं होगी तो माउंटेन्स, पहाड़ जो हैं वो उड़ जाएंगे. And all the water in the oceans will simply float around. The weight of a thing is simply the force of gravity acting on that thing. You have noticed that all the weighing scales of the world hold the object on top of them, except for the spring weighing scale, because the object to be weighed is hanged to it. But even then, the weight hanging to a spring scales moves downwards. That's because the weight of an object is simply the force of gravity. Heavier objects are pulled towards earth with more force of gravity, and that's why they are heavier. जो बहुत ज़्यादा भारी चीज़ें हैं वो ज़्यादा ताकत से जो हैं वो ज़मीन की तरफ जाती हैं क्योंकि वो ज़्यादा भारी हैं. Heavier objects are pulled towards earth with more force of gravity, and that's why they are heavier. Children slide down from a slide because the force of gravity pulls them to downwards. Friction. A bicycle moves with the force of your legs, but the force of friction applied by the brakes can stop the moving bicycle. Friction is a force that stops the moving objects. Friction is created when two surfaces came in contact with each other. फ्रिक्शन कैन स्टॉप और स्लो डाउन अ मूविंग ऑब्जेक्ट. फ्रिक्शन जो है वो किसी चीज़ को बिल्कुल रोक देती है या उसको स्लो डाउन करती है, किसी भी मूविंग चीज़ को. फ्रिक्शन कैन स्टॉप और स्लो डाउन अ मूविंग ऑब्जेक्ट. अ बॉल मूविंग ऑन द ग्राउंड स्टॉप्स आफ्टर अ वाइल बिकॉज ऑफ फ्रिक्शन. फ्रिक्शन क्रिएट्स हीट. Rub your hands a few times. Your hand will get warm. The rubbing creates friction and friction creates heat. ऐसे जब आप अपने हाथों को रगड़ते हैं तो फ्रिक्शन क्रिएट होती है और उससे जो है वो हाथ आपको गर्म फील होता है क्योंकि वो हीट प्रोड्यूस करता है. The rubbing creates friction and friction creates heat. Apply some oil or cream to your hands. Now rub your hands again. You will notice that the oil has reduced the friction. You will also notice that with less friction, your hands are not as warm as they were before. The engine of a car, motorcycle, or a rickshaw produces lots of friction when it moves. The friction creates heat. To reduce friction, motor oil is added into the car engine. The engine oil comes between moving parts and reduces friction. तो वो जो इंजन ऑयल होता है वो उसके मूविंग पार्ट्स के दरमियान आ जाता है और जिसकी वजह से फ्रिक्शन कम होती है. The engine oil comes between moving parts and reduce friction, but the parts of an engine move very fast. So heat from the friction is produced even after adding the engine oil. To keep the engine cool, water runs through the engine of a car. The moving parts will get hot and break up if the engine of a car runs without oil or water. The heat of friction will put the engine on fire. इस फ्रिक्शन की हीट की वजह से आपकी जो गाड़ी का इंजन है उसको आग भी लग सकती है. द हीट ऑफ फ्रिक्शन विल पुट द इंजन ऑन फायर. सो फ्रिक्शन कैन ब्रेक थिंग्स एंड क्रिएट्स फायर. In old times, people did not have matchsticks. They produced fire by rubbing rocks. जो तो पुराने लोग होते थे उनके पास माचिस तो होती नहीं थी, तो वो क्या करते थे, वो फायर कैसे प्रोड्यूस करते थे, दो पत्थरों को आपस में रगड़ने से. Wind produces friction as well. That's why the bodies of fighter planes are made of special materials, so they don't catch fire when they fly very fast. Our atmosphere's outer space is full of rocks called meteorites. Some of these meteorites are as big as mountain. These meteorites often enter our atmosphere. The force of the gravity of the earth pull these meteorites, but these meteorites never reach the earth. Why? The heat produced by the friction of the wind breaks them in the sky. To reduce wind friction, the shape of racing cars, fast trains and aeroplanes are designed in a special way. तो जो विंड की फ्रिक्शन है उसको कम करने के लिए जो रेसिंग कार्स होती हैं, जो बहुत बुलेट ट्रेन्स होती हैं, उनकी शेप और प्लेन्स जो हैं उनको ऐसे डिज़ाइन, एक स्पेशल ख़ास तरीके से डिज़ाइन किया जाता है. To reduce wind friction, the shape of racing cars, fast trains and aeroplanes are designed into a special way. They all have a sharp round front. All of these looks like an eagle. This aerodynamic design helps to cut the wind and reduce friction. So students, this is very interesting story about force and motion. Okay, so I want to ask you a few questions. How can we move or stop any object? Yes, with force. Good. Okay, what powers does a magnet have? Good. Okay, why a moving ball stop after some time? Yes, because with the gravity of the earth. Okay, now students, what is your home assignment for today? You have to tell this story to your family members. You have to tell them that why engine oil is important for cars and how we move things and how we push and pull other different things. So students, this is your home assignment that you have to tell this story to your parents or your family members. Okay, so inshallah tomorrow we will read this lesson together. Till then, Allah Hafiz.